How can a manager of a person being coached support the engagement so that's even more successful? Let's talk about it. As you know, if you've watched videos on this channel, I believe in sponsored coaching, and I do a lot of it. In sponsored coaching, the manager is usually a part of the process, but to what degree the manager is a part of the process can have an impact on the success of the engagement. I've seen managers be quite uninvolved to quite involved. What does that look like? When they're quite uninvolved, they are basically aware that a person who reports to them is being coached, but they don't want to have check-ins with the coach, and they don't really ever talk about the coaching with their report. It's as if the coaching is happening in a parallel universe that doesn't actually ever connect with their universe in which they work with the person being coached. It's not that they don't want the coaching to be successful and they're not looking for some changes from the person being coached with anticipation and perhaps positivity. It's just that they don't want to talk about it that much. I guess they're busy. They're more involved in working with their report on other priorities, projects, etc. So they just let it run. When you look at the other end, where the manager is highly involved, the manager wants frequent check-ins, maybe too many. And they also kind of insist on knowing what's happening inside of the coaching. As you know, coaching is a confidential medium. We cannot share about the nature of the conversations that we're having with the person being coached, regardless of how involved the manager wants to be. We appreciate their enthusiasm and interest, but we're going to have to pull them back a little bit from that end of the spectrum, right? So it's up to us to appropriately set boundaries with a manager who wants to be highly involved in the coaching process at the outset of the engagement, not during. That's the worst time to inform the manager on how coaching is a confidential medium. They should already know and be supportive of that process before the coaching starts. So then what's the sweet spot? Somewhere in the middle. It's a manager who understands the boundaries and what they can actually know. It's a manager who wants to be updated on what are the engagement goals for the coaching. So just a few things that the coachee is working on. I think a manager deserves to know that. And this is a big reason why. The manager can make opportunities for the person being coached to lean into those objectives and perhaps more assuredly achieve them with the manager's help. So the manager would talk about coaching in the one-on-ones that they have with the report. The manager would ask the coachee, is there anything I can do to pave the way for you to succeed in this coaching engagement? I'll give you one example. When I was meeting with a manager and the coachee about the coaching objectives, the manager said, this sounds ambitious and right on. I'm in total support of it, but I feel like you have too much on your plate now to achieve these objectives. Let's talk about how we can perhaps remove something from your plate so that you can have time to make a concerted effort towards these objectives. That's great manager involvement. Another example, I had a client that was working on improving their presentations to senior leaders, including the board of the organization. Their manager, who was the CEO, said, I'm going to make it a reality for you to have more presentation opportunities, which of course made my client nervous, but they accepted it as a gift and a blessing. Because if they don't practice, if they don't actually give more presentations, they won't get better. And that was how their manager supported their objectives. It was a win-win for both sides and also for the coach, right? Because we can't make these opportunities happen inside the organization. We're largely outside of the organization and not that involved. But the manager can pave the way. Another way that the manager can support the engagement is to agree to the midpoint check-in. The midpoint check-in is an important meeting where the coachee can share some examples of work that they've already done in the engagement. The manager can affirm that they've seen the coachee make a real effort, and they may have even observed that the coachee has made some changes. And we can talk about, do we need to make any midpoint adjustments? Is there anything more the manager can do to support the success of the engagement? And what else should the manager know as we move into the final half of the coaching? And then at the end of the coaching, we would meet with the manager again and basically wrap up the engagement, hopefully in a successful way, or we might even discuss extending the coaching if the manager and the coachee feel that that would be a good idea. This is another reason for you to have a good working relationship with the manager, because oftentimes the manager is going to be a decision maker in an extension decision for a coaching engagement. So those are my thoughts and ideas on achieving that sweet spot for a manager to be involved in a coaching engagement. I hope this helps you to consider how to ensure that your coachees have great alignment with their managers and have more successful engagements. If you have your own thoughts and ideas, please place them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. If you have questions, you can also place them in the comments below or email me at michael@BAECexecutivecoach.com. And of course, if this has been helpful to you, please like it, share it with others, and comment and subscribe to the channel. Now, if you want to go deeper with me and really learn about becoming an excellent executive and leadership coach and becoming certified and working your way towards a third-party credential, such as an ICF credential, explore attending an in-person seminar with me. I have one coming up in a short period of time. Depending on when you're watching this video, of course, there may be another one that's a few months off. Go to the centerforexecutivecoaching.com and take a look for the in-person seminar, and also explore other programs that might be more appropriate for where you are and the amount of investment that you want to make, because we offer different levels of program for different paces and different levels of investment. Or you can simply email me at michael@BAECexecutivecoach.com and ask questions and request an appointment so that we can talk one-on-one about your interest in becoming one of the world's leading executive and leadership coaches. Thank you very much.